Hey guys, once again welcome back. I got another layout update for you guys. It's been a while, I've been on Christmas vacation, been doing a little bit of traveling, but I have been able to get some work done down here. I have some new locomotives, some new sound projects and sound decoders that I've been working on. I have some new weathering that I'm working on, and then also some new scenery that my dad and I have been working on as well over the past 2 weeks. So I have some exciting things to show you guys, so stay tuned. That being said, I also have some new videos coming out to you guys shortly. If you haven't seen my snow video scene, check that out. That's really cool. That was a couple videos ago. Also, I have some layout tours of some other people's layouts coming up to you, and a couple other things as well. A couple of you guys have also asked about the SD60E video series, about how I'm building that, and fortunately I didn't quite get to that this break. However, the engines I haven't made any progress on the engines, so that's why the video series kind of halted there for a bit. But once I pick that project back up in the summer, I'll finish that series on how to custom build an SD60E. So I apologize for the delay in that. And then I think that's about it. So let's go and check out the layout and see what's new. Alright, so here's just a couple different cars that I've weathered recently. First off, I've done this a while back, so you may have seen it, but this is a Southern waffle-sided boxcar. This is an exact rail car, so I've added some fading and some dirt and grime and a couple washes, and then also some graffiti and also some of the safety striping as well. I also did a Norfolk Southern version of the car. It's the same car, it's made by Exact Rail. I added the safety striping and then just some fading and a couple of washes of dirt and grime as well as some rust and dirt to the top of the car as well. And then a third car that I did over the break here was a 2-bay Athearn hopper, and I previously weathered this a while back, but I kind of updated it. I added a little more rust, and then I also added some graffiti. I added the patches there, the new lettering. I also added the safety striping, and then I also added cut levers down there to the bottom of the car as well. So that's what's new to this one. And then we're going to take a look and see what else is new. I'm also working on this SD60E. This is one that I've done over the break here. I started this actually this past summer, and I just haven't got around to it. I'm working on two others. If you look down here, these are the frames of them. The shells are in various states of assembly here. Here's all sorts of parts and paints as well. I'm going to be doing the Veterans engine. I'm also going to be doing the honoring the first responders locomotive. So those are two SD60Es that I'll be doing as well. And then this one, I'll mention I also have the, here's the cab, and then I mentioned those decals as well. Right here, here's the decals for the first responders unit. They're on the top and the bottom. Those gold stripes are for these are for the veterans unit on the top, and the bottom is for the first responders unit. So a little more work to go on the last two. The first one is completely detailed. I just have to finish painting it and then installing the decoder and of course the ditch lights and the sound as well. So you can see I used a 3D printed cab by Timothy Mast. I think his name is N.S. Lurgan, I believe. I'll post a link on the description if you guys want to buy these cabs. You can find them on shapeways.com. They're 3D printed, but he made them, and you can go and buy those on Shapeways. So anyways, I also added the plow. I added MU cables on the front there, some MU cables and air hoses underneath the pilot there. I added the grab irons, the nose door, sand hatches, and then also the PTC antennas, reflective mirrors, and sunshades on the cab. On the back here I modified the air intake and then added the larger air filters and fan up here on the top. I also added the correct horn up here on the top of the locomotive. I added the correct location of the brake wheel, as well as the little recessed hatch right there. On the back, same thing, I added the rear ditch lights as well. Then I'll flip it around here. And I also added the new extended brake doors right here and the new hatch in the back as well. So those are all the details I did to this locomotive. And so I'll be working on the other two and doing the exact same modifications to those as well. And those will also be for sale this coming summer. So one of them will be to keep. It'll be just a standard Norfolk Southern locomotive. So those are in the works. I'll get to them here in the next few months and hopefully be able to finish those up. Like I said, those other two will be for sale whenever I get around to finishing them. So Anyway, stay tuned on those projects, and we'll take a look at what else is new. Alright, another project that my dad's actually working on is a couple of Norfolk Southern Tigons. These are some old Bulkhead flat cars which Norfolk Southern rebuilt. They cut the tops off of added sides, and they're actually used to hold ties and maintenance away trains. So we have the decals here. These are the correct Tigon decals. This is what the car actually looks like. You can see they rebuilt it pretty much into a gondola, so we'll add the sides, and he's working on these. So again, I'll keep you updated on these, let you know how they go. They'll be orange when they're done. And these were just originally some Walthers cars that were on sale, so there's that. Okay, so I also have been working on a SD40-2. This is an old Broadway Limited Blue Line series engine that I ripped the electronics out of. I went and repainted it. I added a couple details like the RS5T horn, and I also added working ditch lights and headlights, and then a new plow and a couple other things like that. And then, as I mentioned, I custom painted it. So, as I mentioned, I put the TCS Wow Sound decoder into it. So here's the horn. And here's the bell. And I'll just scooch it forward here so you can watch it run by. Alright, now I've also been working on another SD40-2. This one's kind of been in the works for like a year now, but I just haven't quite got around to it. But eventually, my plan is to go and finish this one up soon. This will just be a standard X BNSF SD40-2. It'll have wow sound, LED lights, and all that stuff. So I've got some of the main decals on. I just have to paint the underframe there, finish a few decals, and then put the decoder in as well. So that should be finished up here pretty soon as well. Just a little update on that as well. Alright, then another thing that I got recently this month was a new lock sound programmer, and what this does is it enables you to put custom sounds into decoders. I know like 4 or 5 years ago I messed around with the Digitrax programmer, the PR3. However, I just wasn't loving the Digitrax decoders, so after messing around with some lock sound decoders and seeing what some other friends have, I think I decided to go ahead and invest in this, and I'm still learning about editing some of the sounds and getting some of those in there, and how to make those custom sound projects for the locomotives. But hopefully in the future I'll be able to utilize this and put some really neat custom sounds into the locomotives. So I've been working on a couple. I'll go ahead and show those to you. But as I mentioned, this is just a lock sound programmer. Basically what it does, it connects the computer software to the decoder and allows you to program in custom sounds. So you can record your own and then edit them and then put them into a decoder. It just adds a little bit extra realism to the decoder itself. So as you can see here, this plugs into the decoder. You got your power source, and then you have your 2 outputs for the rails. You have 2 different types of there, and then some status lights. So that's all it is. It's a lock programmer. So I'll be updating you guys as well on projects that I'm working on for that. But as I mentioned before, I've got a little bit to learn before I start making some sound projects all together. Alright, I've also installed the lock sound decoder into this BNS Gevo. I also installed all LED lights into it as well. As you can see, it's got the operational headlights and ditch lights there. So in order to put the custom sounds in, you need a version 4.0 decoder. You can't program the selects with custom sounds. So anyways, I haven't done any programming to the sound file yet on this one. But once I mess around with it a little more, I'll eventually add some custom sounds, custom horn and stuff to it as well. But for now, it just has the standard lock sound K5HL horn in it. Here it is. And it just has the automatic E-bell, and then also just the standard Gevo motor sounds in it. Alright, so here's 2 MTH-9s. These are the ones that I showed you in my previous update. However, I just went ahead and weathered them. I did some detailing as well. If you look at the front here, I added new plows, new MU cables. You can take a look there in the front. I also added the new MU cable there in the front as well. I did some painting. I painted some of the windshield wipers and then just a little bit of other detail painting as well, and then of course I weathered them. I also added PTC antennas to the top, and then not too much new. This is pretty much stock MTH out of the box. I also added the correct horns, however the ones from the factory were just a little oversized. And then these also have the rear anti-climber, the correct rear ditch lights, and all that stuff. So I really didn't have to do too much to it. The only thing I did here was add new Details West MU cables and air hoses just to make it look a little more accurate, and then again some weathering as well. If you can see that, I just added a P5 horn up here, and then both of them also have the Locksound 4.0 decoders in it. So I've been messing around with a little programming, but again, I got a little ways to go before I get them smoothed out. Alright, so I'm also adding some custom sounds. As you can see here, I added Locksound 4.0 decoders to both of these locomotives. Added the 4.0, so eventually I'll be able to add the custom sounds. So here's one of the custom bells that I've been working on. So it needs a little work. I'm going to add a new one to it eventually, and I also added a custom horn to it as well. So. Alright, so as I mentioned, these are just the standard engine sounds for the Dash 9s, and these are just the Locksound decoders. So that's all that's new for locomotives, just a couple other things as far as scenery goes, and I think that'll be it. Alright, so if you look here, you'll notice the hills are just a little barren, and I mentioned we're working on just a couple scenery things. Up here you can see the hills are also lacking some trees as well. We got the trees all the way up to right about here, and that's kind of what we're working on next. So as I mentioned, we're working on some trees. We use Super Trees by Scenic Express, and so something my dad and I have been working on over the past few weeks here are these super trees. So you get them all cut to the right shape here. You don't have to do too much to them. They come in a big box like this, and then once that's done, you spray paint the trunks, and you'll dip them in glue and some of the foliage to get nice looking trees like you have up here. So we're working on them, but as you can tell, we have a little bit of ways to go. Still a lot of trees to do, but eventually you can take a look and see that these are pretty big boxes here off to the side, so lots of trees. Our first thing will be to finish this mountain up here on top, and then down here we're going to go ahead and work our way across the bottom here, and also up to kind of where we've stopped up there. So that's kind of our plan for now as far as scenery goes, and that is really all that we've been doing. This is kind of the one big scenery project that we've been working on lately. We're eventually going to add a couple little more details and finish out that town scene up there for good, and you guys can check that out in my next update. So hopefully next time you guys see this, I'll be showing you pictures of the hills with trees on them. And once we get the trees on and the river, the water and the river down there, this scene will be pretty much complete, minus a few telephone poles and a little bit of details here on the road down here as well. So as I mentioned, we'll add some telephone poles, a little bit more grass and stuff to the hills here, and water to the river. And I know it's easier said than done, so it'll take a little while, but we're making progress on it, and we'll be done pretty soon. So that's about all that's new. Thanks. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That's about all that's new on the layout. So we got a little scenery, some engines, and cars done, and we'll keep working on those over the next few months here, and I'll be keeping you guys updated on that as well. So I also need to do a 2015 layout tour. You guys are wondering why I didn't get to that, and that's because we wanted to have the trees on before we did the tour, so we might do a little late 2015 layout tour next month when I'm home, or February probably, or March when I'm home. So that might be a little late this year, but I wanted to make sure there's some big differences between this year's and last year's. So that's still coming. Then I'll do another one at the end of next summer as well. And then I've also filmed a lot of videos over the break, and I'll be getting those up to you guys over the next couple of months here as I kind of slowly upload them and as I won't be at home to film any new material. And if you guys are wondering why I haven't got any new videos up to you guys this week over the past 7 days, that's because I've had a pretty little distraction. This is my girlfriend, Anna. So Anna's been here helping me film this video tonight. She's been here checking out the train room. I think that's about all we got. Anything to say?
I've just loved getting here, finally getting to visit and see the layout in person, and just want to let you guys know that Josh isn't going anywhere. I'm not taking him away from the trains, but I am his biggest fan.
Alright, so me and my biggest fan, thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
LED headlights and then a couple other details like the RS5T horn up top. So, there it is. Alright, and here we have, wait, what is this?
Oh, I decided to run a train with all my favorite colors, sorry. Hope you don't mind.